Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Yuri on Ice episode 11 called Gotta Super-Supercharge It, Grand Prix Final Short Program.
The stage is set. Everybody's ready to go. I'm assuming we'll see the draw order, random, and we'll see who's got the closest prediction. I like that we both think the top 3 figure skaters are the same though.
I agree that I find it interesting we agreed on the top 3.
Yeah.
We got a little deep dive, not a deep dive, a little skim.
Yeah, insight.
Of Victor and Yuri's relationship. Victor as a person, of the difference that Yuri has made in many people's lives regarding life and love. Because even Yurio, despite putting up a fight, is reminded of the Japanese coastline.
Yep. That was a fun episode, but I'm looking forward to seeing who deals with the pressure, how they set it up. How is Victor going to handle this in terms of managing Yuri? Because we know he worries and he stresses. Does the stress get to the other skaters? Because I was thinking about this. None of these skaters, like the ones who've been around for a while, it's this fine line of knowing you probably can't win and you're competing for second because Victor's so good. And now that Victor's not there, it's just a different vibe and mentality. I'm curious to see how they manage it.
It's much different when you've actually got a chance to win, and despite what these guys say, like, it seems like none of them ever really had a chance to win, so it was like safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that it's like, no, there is a new title up for grabs, somebody new is gonna win it, like, are you actually going to be able to show up or not?
Well, and I think it affects JJ and Christoph the most because they've grown up with him and they've always competed against him. And now it's like, who's it going to be?
The legend, the runner-up, and the rookie. 3 cards, 1 champion.
I'm excited. We will see what Yuri decides to make of Victor's statement of, you know, do what program you like best. So we'll see how he interprets that, what he chooses to do. But I'm very excited, so let's get started. Yuri on Ice, episode 11 is starting right now. Oh, does that mean he'll skate first?
Possibly.
中国大会ではタイ人初の優勝で勢いに乗る。ファイナル初出場で東南アジアの新しい歴史を刻め。シリーズ4位通過、ユーリ・プリセツキー。去年のジュニアチャンピオンがシニアデビュー。今シーズンから4回転を解禁し、見事2大会連続2位表彰台。今大会最年少ながらロシアの威信をかけ初優勝を狙う。シリーズ3位通過、クリストフ・ジャコメッティ。熟成されたスケーティングと大技4回転ルッツで世界を酔わせる男がファイナル初制覇に挑む。シリーズ2位通過、オタベック・アルティン。世界選手権
We kind of forgot about him in our rankings.
I feel like we didn't really see him though, so we're not informed.
Yeah.
シリーズ1位通過はジャンジャック・ルノワ。唯一2連勝の風雲児。ショートフリー4回転を6本飛ぶクアドジャンパー。世界のルールは JJ が決める。最終決戦、ここバルセロナで幕を開ける。
Let's go.
Yeah, so he is first because he finished 6th.
I kind of like that for him. No pressure, just skate.
Empowering their magic rings.
いいよ、何も考えなくていい女じゃない。明日はユーリが一番好きだって言い切れるスケートを見せてね。行ってきます。さあ、大歓声が送られます。日本、勝木ユーリ。去年ファイナル最下位で終わったあの日から1年、新生勝木ユーリのショートプログラムが始まります。曲は愛についてエロス。さあ小田さん、今回はジャンプの構成を変えてくるようですね。
はい、ロシア大会後さらなる高得点を狙って変更したそうです。
パーソナルベストを出しても JJ には勝てない。ジャンプの基礎点だけで 5.22 の差がある。今の構成のままじゃ。
ショートでも4回転フリップに変更する？練習でもまだクリーンに降りたことほとんどないだろう。
でもまだ精度上げられる余地はある。勝つためにどこまで展開を進められるかがファイナルを戦い抜く僕のモチベーションになるんだ。
I like that.
ビクトルだって見たいでしょ。僕が GOE プラス3の4回転フリップ降りたとこ見たいね。でしょ。あれから集中的に4回転フリップを練習してきたけど成功率はまだ低い。それでも飛ぶこと
You can do it.
Yeah.
ユーリはもう自分の決めたことを迷ったりしない。それなのに俺の方が心臓破裂。
Yeah, me too.
難しい入り方のジャンプなので
Being a coach is awful.
さあ次は4回転のコンビネーション。
4回転サルコー、3回転
Good combo, good combo.
興奮がつま先まで駆け抜け放たれる。さあ注目の4回転フリップ。よし、そのままスピードに乗って。
4回転フリップ、手をついてしまいました。
Okay.
No, that's good though.
評価を受けたスピンです。
フリップ回転足りてるよね。大丈夫。パパ基礎点どれぐらい？
今計算してる。
I love how invested they are.
Okay.
Set the bar high on the short program for everyone else to follow. That
And he
was
had
good.
enough rotations, just touch his hand down.
So just a minimal deduction.
Dude, are you okay?
You gotta feel good about that.
Is he happy?
I don't know.
来シーズンへの抱負をお願いします。
いつだって新しい気持ちで滑っていればみんな驚いてくれる。自分の首を絞める枷でもあった。新しい強さは自分で作り出すしかない。ずっとそう思ってた。さあ勝木有利の得点が出ます。 97.83、 100点台には届きませんが高い得
He
点。
broke 100 on his other short programs.
Mm-hmm.
Representing Thailand, Prix
今は有利を通して新しい感情が俺の中に流れ込んでくる。有利にこれから与えるべきものは何だろう。続いてタイのピチッとチュラノン。曲はシャルウィースケート。タイからもたくさんの応援が駆けつけているようです。さあまずは最初のジャンプ。トリプルアクセル。タイ人初のグランプリファイナル進出、ピチッとチュラノン。バンコクの商業施設にあるリンクでスケートを始め才能が開花。単身デトロイトへ移住し、チェレスティーノコーチのもと修行を続け、去年ホームリンクをタイに戻しました。
トリプルルッツ、トリプルトーループ。
4回転はトーループに他の選手の得点を超えるのは難しい。
4回転トーループ。
守るべき過去は何もない。ここが始まりだから。真っ白なキャンバスに誰も見たことない絵を描く子供みたいにワクワクしなきゃもったいない。ユリ、僕ね、シャルウィースケートで滑りたいんだ。
Those hamsters?
Yeah.
タイ人スケーターがこの曲を使ったことはまだないんだ。 僕がいつか大舞台で演じてみせる。その時はユーリも一緒だからね。
Oh my gosh.
So he increased his difficulty in this short program,
Yuri.
but he scored better in his other short program. So does that mean like it wasn't a great skate? Does that I'm trying to kind of
confused.
draw a comparison. We obviously didn't see the whole thing. Or part of me wonders if the grading is different in the final.
Judges.
Yeah. So I was just kind of curious about that
because he seemed to execute it well, minus just like touching the hand down, but it was on a higher difficulty rating element.
And I thought that penalty was lower than an under rotation, for
Yeah.
example.
So I don't know if it's like a judging discrepancy or something, you know?
Okay, I was curious about that, seeing the number, because I thought given the increased difficulty, that would have been above 100.
Because he got a 106
Yeah.
on his short program before.
Yeah.
And I also find it interesting the different mindsets. Like Yuri is like, okay, if I want a chance, I'm going to take this risk to increase the difficulty, even if it doesn't work. And then the Thai guy was like, I know that my difficulty isn't there. Like I'm only doing one quad, which is less than everybody else. So like I'm just gonna skate with like so much enthusiasm and energy. Like he was just like, it's fine.
I wonder, can he not do more quads? Like physically, is he limited, or is he playing it safe, or did it not fit into the routine? Like that's the part I'm kind of curious about.
But it's like, if you know that your difficulty is not there, do you really think that your like charisma is gonna make up for that?
Yeah. So that makes me think it's a physical limitation. Like he doesn't either have the stamina or the power to add more, because this is where you would go for it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I find it interesting, because Yuri's clearly capable of executing a flawless performance that's slightly less difficult.
Yeah.
But he was like, no.
I'm curious to see where this score is.
プレッシャーから解放されたようですね。いやー、本当に素晴らしかったです。ピチッとか最後まで完璧なエンターテイナーだったよ。
いつまでキスくらいんだバカ。ユーロがバイ。ピチッとトラノンの得点。
Whoa, okay.
Okay.
現在第2位です。ロシアのネクストジェネレーション、ユーリ・プリセツキー。
I love how Yuri's sister and dance coach are cheering for everybody.
続いてアガペビクトル・ニキフォロフの振り付けです。ロシア大会ショートプログラムでは経験不足から来る緊張で思うような演技ができなかったと語っていたユーリ・プリセツキー。まずは最初のジャンプ。
トリプルアクセル。片手を上げての難しいジャンプなので加点要素となります。
Oh.
Interesting.
フライングシットスピン。
ファイナル直前に行われたゴールデンスピンでは優勝。
シニアに上がって足りないのは経験だけだ。ユリは我々に協力を求め、それに応える環境が整ってる。
この曲はアガペがテーマですが、彼はたくさんの出会いの中、愛の入り口を感じたのではないかと思います。自分の支える愛は何なのか探している時こそ人間は輝きます。
いいじゃん。
さあ演技後半に入ってからの4回転3回転のコンビネーション。
4回転サルコー。3回転トーループ。驚異的。片手を上げてのジャンプ完璧です。
His dance lessons are paying off.
Mm-hmm.
4回転トーループ。
Wow.
今度は両手を上げました。
So he's probably going to be ahead of Yuri.
Yeah.
ビクトルがもう。難しいコンビネーションを最高の環 います。成長し続ける美しきモンスターが今大きな高みへ。
Wow. Well done.
Yeah, that was a good skate.
And he wasn't relying on anger this time.
Mm-hmm.
途中から頭真っ白になってた。
ビクトル
What is your instinct about what Victor is feeling? Because that's his program.
I don't know, maybe he's proud because he had to have a talking to, give him a talking to the day before. Or maybe it's bittersweet because it is hard to pass the torch when you've been the best
I think
for
that was
so
my
long.
instinct.
I wouldn't be surprised at either option.
Do you think him watching that program and having those emotions are going to affect him and Yuri?
I sure hope not, because I don't think it's not tied to Yuri at all, and it's nothing to do with their relationship. So I hope Yuri can be mature enough to understand that, but I don't know.
Yuri struggles with insecurity, so I'm
Yes.
curious how this is going to go.
さあ一体どんな得点が出るのか。
He'll be in the lead, I think.
Oh!
The world record?
Wow.
That's insane.
あ、僕も試合気になって。クリス、今からね。
Dang. Well, our predictions were wrong.
25歳クリストフ・ジャコメッティ。ユーリ・プリセツキーの歴代最高得点にどよめく場内がスイス国旗で埋め尽くされます。
Wow.
曲はイントキシケイテッド。アガペイから一気に大人のエロスへ空気が変わります。 冒頭、まずは4回転を予定しています。4回転です。流れるように決まった。
コンビネーションスピン。
毎年ファイナルに残りながらも一度も優勝経験のないクリストフ・ジャコメッ
That's
テ
who
ィ。
Victor's always been in.
長年ライバルだったビクトル・ニキコロフは観客席からどんな思いで今見つめているでしょうか。
ユーリ、僕もね、今までのスケート人生、いつもビクトルが表彰台の
The butt squeeze.
年齢的にもグランプリファイナルにまた何度も来られるわけじゃない。ビクトルのいない初めてのシーズン、正直つまらないけど。クリス、迎えに来たぞ。いつも早すぎだよ。だからこそ特別な試合にして。
Does that have a double meaning?
With him, normally.
高さ幅ともに申し分ないですね。
ビクトル、そこで見てな。
ビクトル、さっきユリを見ていた時も思ったけど。4回転ですが、少し回転が足りなかったようですね。最後ジャンプでミスがあったけど、さすがクリス。すべてにおいて質が高い。これは抜かれたかもしれない。
I don't know if that puts him ahead of Yuri or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
クリストフ・ジャ
Oh,
コメッティ
yeah.
の得点
Wow.
102.37。クリス、勝木優里を抜いて現在2位です。 やばい。
I mean, I like that he's cheering for his new friend, but like also don't be a
グラン
jerk.
プリシリーズポイントランキング第2位で初のファイナル進出です。曲はサマルカンド序曲。今年のグランプリシリーズではダークホース的存在
Ooh, a little lederhosen action.
さあ、まずは最初のジャンプ。
4回転トーループ、3回
Okay.
転トーループ。
決まりました。
I was expecting him to falter.
This guy?
Yeah.
昔はそこまで印象に残る選手じゃなかったのに、全然今は違うわ。
ジュニアまでは無名じゃったかの。
オタベック、何を恥ずかしがっているんだ。
追いつかない環境。圧倒的な才能。この人たちにできないことを見つけなきゃ一生勝てない。あれ以来バレエは踊ってない。正しい道なんて必要
Oh, really?
うん。
氷の上は戦場だ。俺は絶対生き残る。
トリプルアクセル、高さ、幅、これぞオタベックアルティンのトリプルアクセル。さあ最後は4回転サルコウ。
オタベックもジャンプをミス。彼の滑りには迷いがない。その迷いのなさが彼らしさだ。
I think that's going to be ahead of Yuri's too.
Oh man.
また豚の得点超えたな。いいね彼。とってもエキゾチックだった。すごく新鮮。さあ早く行きなさい。
JJ、ガツンとかましてこい。ガツンと。
オタベックアルティンの得点。
Holy moly!
1位は依然ユーリ・プリセツキー。そしていよいよ最終滑走を迎えます。ジャンジャック・ルノワ、カナダから大応援団が駆けつけています。場内に響く JJ コール。
I will say, Canadians generally travel well and are very loud and obnoxious, so I think that's kind of funny. I thought, I keep forgetting his name, the Kazakhstan skater.
Otabek?
Otabek. I thought he would struggle with this being his first competition, like in a Grand Prix, because there's no expectation. Like he doesn't come from a country where he was around the expectation of winning. Like when you train, like Yuri trained with Victor, there's a culture and a presence and an understanding. I was curious how he was going to handle the pressure of being in that environment and the weight of his country never winning a medal and like all of that in his first time, but he skated really well.
From what I understand, figure skating is a very expensive sport to get into and to like maintain. And the fact that he kind of has more of a blue collar mentality in a very white collar type of sport, I think is refreshing. And it's so interesting because like he doesn't have the resources to be able to follow the typical path. So he's had to find his own way to make things work. And I think that that's so cool. And I think it might be relieved some of the pressure because it's like he's not doing the same thing to be compared like apples to apples with everybody else.
Yeah.
I thought he was good, but like 3 skaters in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yuri's going to finish second last probably.
Oh my gosh, how do you recover from that?
Well, remember, his long program is backloaded with his jumps for extra points. So he might have the highest base score for his long program, given his strength of stamina.
Maybe. I'm worried.
Could be.
優勝したのは彼だけです。曲はテーマオブキング JJ。
Oh.
JJ が目指すのはグランプリシリーズ完全制覇じゃない。カナダナショナル4大陸ワールドのグランドスラムだ。今の JJ ならできる。4回転トーループ。
What was that?
その予定でしたが単独になりました。
He got caught up in the moment, I guess.
この4回転をコンビネーションにしてやるぜ。ノープロブレム。トリプルアクセルがシングルになってしまいました。
What is wrong with him?
JJ。
指揮者、グランプリファイナルの魔物に飲まれやがって。
ワールドなら戦士だが結婚しよう。
JJ。きっとあなたに全てのタイトルを手に入れられるわ。
This is what we were talking about.
Just can't believe they're crying.
JJ はただ立ち止まれないだけなんだ。その挑戦を笑う資格なんか誰にもない。今回の僕だって挑戦したことに後悔はない。この6人の中に自分が残れたんだ。さあ、ジャンジャック・ルロワの得点が出ました。
Not good.
86.71、シニアでの最も低い得点になります。
Leroy.
ショートプログラムの結果、1位ユーリ・プリセツキー、2位オタベック・アルティン、3位クリストフ・ジャコメッティと以下はご覧のようになっています。
絶対フリーでも勝ちに行きます。
勝木ユーリは第4位からフリーに挑みます。
美奈子先生、バーでチェレスティーノと飲んでるみたい。
わお、近寄らない方がいいね。ところでユーリ、話って。
Oh boy.
何？
ファイナルで終わりにしよう。僕とビクトル、2人で挑む最後の試合が始まる。
What does let's end it mean?
Let's end our relationship. Let's end this working relationship. Like, what?
Maybe he just wants to separate the coach skater and have a relationship, and maybe he's gonna retire. That's a bit of a cliffhanger to end on.
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay,
I am really sad for JJ. I don't like him, like his personality bothers me, but like, that was tough to watch.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half.
I have this thing about mentality with athletes. There's lots of conversation about it, but when you go out and proclaim you're the best and act with everything and make bold statements and you put that persona out there, you better be able to deal with the pressure. And there's a difference between being confident and stating your goals, which I think is a good thing. Like, to go out there and say, hey, I'm one of the top players, my goal is to win, that's okay to me. Like, putting it out there gives you an element to hang on to work towards, you know, it makes it real. But JJ, and maybe it's part of his personality, everything about him exudes like, I'm number one, I'm the best at this, I'm gonna win. Like, it's in your face.
I'm a very famous race car!
When you build that pressure up for yourself, because that's who's doing it, you better be able to handle it.
It almost seemed like he was kind of delusional while he was skating too. It's like he kept like having this positive self-talk, which I think is so great, but like his body was not following what his mind was doing, and it was like, what is happening?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the yips.
Yes. But the yips, he just like bailed on every jump.
Yeah, I couldn't have been more wrong with my prediction, which
Yeah.
is really interesting.
Yeah, both of us. The only one in the top three was Chris, and he finished third.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a twist.
Again, it's interesting, and I think it sets up in Yuri's favor. You have two first-time Grand Prix finalists who came in with probably no expectations and no pressure, other than what they put on themselves, which is normal in that situation. But now they've never led. They've never been in this position. There's probably, you set a world record and a personal best in the short skate, and now the expectation is you win and you follow it up.
Well,
and
we saw that with Yuri in his first two
Yeah.
Grand Prix like steps. He was in the lead after the short program and he completely imploded. Like now I feel like he probably won't feel as much pressure because he's in fourth.
Yeah.
So like at this point he's not expected to win by like the general public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he can be like more free and easy. Whereas Yurio has never been in this position before. You can see that he's trying to, he's like coming across as being Mr. Cocky now.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to it, like it'll be very interesting. But I feel like the Kazakhstan guy, like Otabek, I feel like he'll be solid.
I'm not sure he'll skate a free program as well as he did the short, but you have so much time to sit and think, you know? And I think about being at the Olympics when you have 2 days in between one match. Like for 48 hours, you're only thinking about one thing. That can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm
But
very-
I think it's really cool that Yurio was jumping with both of his arms in the air.
Yeah. It just goes to show the work he put in that we saw him doing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm actually really curious and excited to see what happens here.
This-
I really like the mentality stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we've never done individual sports. So
Yeah.
like we've always been in a team environment. But I think like beach volleyball as opposed to indoor is like a hybrid of team and individual mentality. So it's like, it's very interesting to dive into like the individual aspect. I cannot believe we just have one episode left.
Crazy.
I'm sad. I wish that this could go on forever.
This was
Not
a lot of
forever,
fun.
but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a normal length season. Let's see what happens. Where the heck is this we need to end this coming from? Is he jealous? Like,
Does
I
he
don't
feel
know.
like he's holding Victor back?
Yeah.
Is Victor gonna come back and skate?
Also, so many options. Our predictions were completely blown out of the water this episode, so no predictions for next episode. I'm just gonna soak it in and love every single moment. But we would love to hear your thoughts, so please be sure to let us know everything you're thinking in the comments below. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the finale of Yuri on Ice coming next week. Bye!